Hey, when you fish two flies, you never know what's going to happen. That's my second double header tonight. Bimbo skunk lures under a little bobber. Hey, good evening everyone. Welcome to True North. My name's Corey. Tonight I'm going to show you how to tie the double jig setup. The famous double jig setup. Double trouble, I call it. And there's some great reasons to fish the double jig setup. You'll increase your opportunities. You'll be surprised how many double headers you'll get if you've never doubled up on two fish at once. It's a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you how I tie my setup, and we're going crappie fishing tomorrow, so I'm going to have two different rods I'm going to do for you here. One's going to be a slip bobber setup, and one's going to be my casting setup. We're going to tie the top one first. I'm putting my glasses on because once you start getting north of 50, my eyesight has really started to change over the last few years. So with my upper jig, I'm going to start with this little panfish magnet head, but this is gonna be my upper jig. So first of all, you got to get your line threaded through the hole. That's getting to be the hardest part for me anymore in my ripe old age. Okay, I got it through. I'm going to give myself about 30 inches of tag line here. So I'm going to take these two fingers right here, not these two, these two. They match up closer, and for me this works better. So I'm going to take my line and I'm going to double up those lines. Excuse the chickens in the background. Going to give myself about 4 to 5 inches of tag line there. So there's my jig head, and I'm going to wrap it around my fingers here one time, just like that. Okay, spread them a little bit, and now I'm going to take this jig head and go through there once, go through there. Oh, that's a sharp one, brand new out of the pack. Twice, and then I'm going to moisten that up with some saliva, and I'm going to pull that tight. Once you do it a few times, you get the hang of it. That's my favorite loop knot. So now that's ready for the bait. Okay, so that's dangling freely on a loop knot. Little panfish magnet head right there. Okay, now on the bottom one, we're going to do the same thing. Now this is a 1/32 ounce, a little heavier, a little bigger head. This is going to be the bottom presentation, and so my top one's black, my bottom one's orange, so I'm giving myself a couple different color options. Okay, we got her through there. I want about 2 feet between these baits, so I'm kind of fishing in two different strike zones now. The fish can come up and they can kind of have their pick of what they like. But if for some reason I'm fishing deeper than where the fish are, if I'm fishing slightly below them, let's say they're in 6 feet of water suspended, and let's say this is down in that 7 to 8 foot range, they'll still be able to see that top jig. So you're able to hit on two different strike zones. I got it threaded through. I've got about 8 inches of tag line at the end here. Okay, and I'm gonna go around there. This bottom one I'm gonna go through once, twice, and actually 3 times is what I do the bottom one. It's probably hard to see, but I'm trying my best for you. Moisten that up, hold that, pull it tight. I left a lot of tag on that one, but I had some junk line that was a little compromised. Bite that off. Sorry, don't bite it off. Never bite it off. Don't do that. I bit through probably the line 10,000 times. But so now I'm going to thread my baits on here. So let me show you what I'm going to use. They say, my buddy says black and chartreuse is the juice. I love these little split tail jigs. So you want to feather them right through the split in the tail, and you just go through the body. You know, I've caught upwards of like 30-40 fish on the same bait on these little guys. So I'm going to split it right down the middle here. See if I can get it coming out right between where the tails split. Was I successful? Yes, it looks like I was. So the hook is right between those split tails, and they just fall and move really naturally. Sometimes I'll actually cut one of those tails off. I'll remove it, and then you just have one of those dangling. But I'm gonna leave that on for now. This is a liquid willow cat. It's a guy out of Minnesota, makes a bunch of these baits. They got an interesting scent to them. I've done really well with these on crappie. So we're gonna have an orange and white presentation, and then up above it we're gonna have a black and chartreuse presentation. So that's gonna give them some different options to think about. And that's just kind of it's got all these ribs in it. It's got really interesting movement under the water. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's almost like a little creature bait. I think that's pretty cool. Now we're ready to go. This is my casting setup. Lighter jig on top, black and chartreuse in this case. On this one, the orange and white heavier jig. So that'll cast nicely. And you know, if we keep getting hit on the top jig, we'll know. Let's switch to black and chartreuse. If they're only hitting this, that'll key us in that white's what they're looking for, or orange. Have a little sip of juice here. There's a bait that I like to use a lot. If you watch any of my videos, you'll see I use these right here. Bimbo skunks a lot. I like these bimbo skunks a lot. He's out of Wisconsin, and he makes a great product. Gets them out to you real quick. I love this little, again, kind of black and chartreuse is the juice. This is a 1/80th ounce. It's got that little red head on it. That's very tiny. I caught a 33-inch flathead on this, not this one, but this size and color last year while I was crappie fishing on 4-pound line. That's what this is. It's 4-pound line on both of these setups. So I like fishing with the fly on the top one, because very often I'm surprised what's willing to hit the fly when nothing else works. Now sometimes they won't hit the fly, they're going for the bigger bottom jig, but having that little subtle upper presentation, it doesn't hurt your chances at all. And I think it gives you a whole different thing for the fish to look at. And if they're just not in the mood to hit anything else, they're not going to say no to that. You know, it's just like a nice little, I don't know, it's like if somebody left some French fries out and you walked right past them and they were hot and fresh and salty, you're probably just going to grab one or two. If you're walking right by, you're like, oh, I'll grab a French fry. That's kind of what this is like to a fish, I think. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to leave myself about 2.5 feet of tag line here. I'm going to double up my line. I'm gonna go fast on this one. Gonna wrap it around my middle finger and ring finger, give myself about 4 inches. I'm gonna wrap around there, leave a little gap, and I'm going through once, twice. I just do it twice on that upper one. Moisten that up, give it a little saliva, tighten it up, give myself about, oh, maybe 1/3 of an inch there between that bait and that loop. I just grabbed another little crappie magnet head, a little 64th ounce boy. I just checked and confirmed this on the size. That is a 64th ounce. So that's heavier than the top one. Again, that's important. The bottom one needs to be a little heavier than your top jig. See how painful that is to watch me? I didn't even need glasses to do that until a couple of years ago. All right. Double up your line. Again, for me, I like wrapping around the middle and the ring finger. Wrap it around those fingers like that. A little practice will tell you what feels right for you. And then take that head back through that gap between the fingers. Once, twice, 3 times a crappie. Go through there 3 times. And hold that tight, hold the knot tight up here, moisten it, pull that tight. So now I'm sliding freely here. Got the bimbo skunk. And what should I put on the bottom? I know. I'm gonna try this white caddisfly. That'll get their attention. It's almost like a cream. I actually like to trim this top. I usually use the black one, but I'm gonna use this cream color. This kind of top edge is real skinny, and I trim that off. The Nico baits are very made out of that super stretchy, awesome, good stuff. So it can be a little harder to work your hook down in there, but it's well worth it, because I actually had a caddisfly once a few years ago, and I know I caught over 100 fish on the same body, and then I broke it off on a snag in the river. There she be. That's a nice finesse presentation. I'll trim that up a little more. Sorry, don't do that. Use a scissor or a clipper. You really can increase your chances of catching a lot more fish, a lot more species of fish, and really figuring out what they're looking for if you give them 2 different color options, 2 different styles in 2 different strike zones. And I think that's the most important thing that this does. Well, it hits on all of those things. So hey, thanks for coming along. We'll do it again. Remember, a bad day's fishing ain't a bad day. We'll see you on the next one.